Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pirates Parley, episode 15. This week, I'm joined by the governance overlords of Solana, none other than the Realms DAO team. Please give it up for Dean, Taki, and Chris. Hey!
Hello.
Hello. We've got the chat open. We're ready to receive all your weird and quirky questions when it comes to on-chain governance, whether it's Sowellian or normal on-chain governance or dictatorships, whatever you want. Dudes arguing online. Let's go. Let's do a small round of introductions. Let's start with you, Dean. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Dean. I'm the director at Realms. I'm a governance nerd. Been in the space for a very long time. Yeah, I just like talking about governance a lot. So I'm excited to be here to just nerd out.
All right. Taki?
Hello, everyone. This is Taki. I've also been on Solana and in the space longer than I had white hair on my beard. I'm also a governance nerd. I love talking about people coordinating on chain using the best and most interesting technology out there these days, and I'm very pumped about this chat today.
All right. Chris?
Internet friends, welcome. It's Wales here, or Chris, another governance nerd. Oh, what a surprise. Also in the space since a very long time, really passionate about syndication and coordination of pooled capital, hence my interest in on-chain governance. Good to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. And for those who not know me yet, my name is Steve. I've been on Solana since 2021. I work at Triton 1. And yeah, we host awesome teams like Realms DAOs on our infrastructure. So welcome. The reason I invited you guys, so we've been friends for quite a while now. We are connected through our work, but also our passion about IslandDAO, which is like a full month of in-person hacking, in-person meeting of your fellow people in the Solana ecosystem. So let's go over what you guys been cooking up with, all the things that have been going on in terms of governance.
You're also the chief vibes officer of Island.
I'm also the chief vibe, which is true. Yeah. But what has been going on with Realms DAO? And maybe you can give people a brief introduction about what the platform does and how it works. Let's start with you, Dean.
Realms is the DAO platform of Solana. That's where people go to use their tokens or their NFTs to vote on how to use money that they control together or update programs that they run together. Projects like Jito, Metaplex, Pyth, Marinade, Bonk, those are all on Realms. And it's at the heart of decentralization. If you want to have a group of people working together using decentralized money, you're going to need a treasury that they can control in a decentralized way. And what we're working on lately is really focused on that core idea. How does a group of people that have money together manage it? And manage it in a way that's safe and decentralized. Like, it's crazy that this industry has existed as long as it has, and we still haven't kind of like solved that in an elegant way. And that's what we're working on. We think we've created a really good way to do it.
All right. So why should any group of people keep their collective funds on chain, especially these days?
I mean, it's really to trade and invest collectively. And there are ways to do that without having access to a lot of the contract risk associated with a lot of the decentralized finance. You can still invest in new companies, new startups, right? There's plenty of nice launch pads now that are putting in place things that make you feel a little bit more safe about your investment. And then there's tokenized equities, which is one of our favorite things. Like we've purchased recently, in the example I can show you guys, we just purchased some Tesla stock because there's going to be earnings today. So, this is stuff you can do on Solana. And those are the things that you would want access to as a group of friends trying to manage money together. But that's the current version we've built. More macro, you can run a company together in a decentralized way, and you're going to have to make decisions on those assets in such a way that it really is censorship resistant. Like not one person can dominate it. It becomes trustless.
Nice. So what about on-chain governance really got you so passionate about working on this, and what problem did it solve for you, basically? Where did this idea stem from?
So this came from our work. What we're working on right now came from looking at this one economist named Thomas Sowell. That's why it's called Sowellian. And the idea, the core concept is, if somebody makes a bad decision, they should pay some sort of price. If somebody makes a good decision, they should have some sort of reward. And that's really like what politics are. That's what politicians are supposed to do. They're supposed to make decisions. And we don't really have a system so far that punishes them if they make a mistake. It doesn't also reward the ones that make good choices. And then that brings along the question, what's a good choice? What are we trying to do? So this system looks at that question intensely. It says, what is the KPI that we consider success? And then every single proposal maps against that KPI. And like this, you can have skin in the game. You can make a prediction bet that outcome will be achieved. If most people agree with you, you actually try to make that happen. And if it works out, you were right, you win the bet. If it doesn't, the people who said, you know what, that's not a good idea, we're not going to be able to get that, we're not going to be able to achieve that doing it like that, they're going to win the bets from the people who thought it was a good idea. So over time, that should make better decisions. And I think that that's the most interesting part of governance, is figuring out a way for us together to continuously get to better and better decisions. And with the current token voting, it's really hard for there to be a movement of power over time. Everybody has equal conviction on every single bet, every single vote. And I don't think that's right. Like, I'll have opinions, but they're not always going to be as strong as other ones. So I would want to communicate when one issue is really important to me, and when another issue I can have an opinion on it, but it's not really like super important. I'm not as like, I shouldn't have equal amount of voting power on every single one of those. Yeah, I can ramble on forever.
All right, awesome. What are your thoughts, Taki?
For me, like to expand a bit on what Dean said, one of the most appealing things in the new system and the Sowellian governance and the new app that we are working is not only the mechanism that allows you to refine constantly towards a better decision-making engine, but also it solves the incentives problem, which has always been one of the big pain points for DAOs, groups that organize together using blockchain technology. Incentives have always been not enough in order to sustain interest and sustain activity by enough people, other than the big whales, the big holders, or the strong believers that have been here since day one. And that has led traditionally to the notion of the decentralized organizations. Oh, they're being run by people with deep pockets, and nobody cares. Nobody reads the proposals. Nobody even bothers enough to put the proposal up. But now we're piecing together this very, very cool system, which is also gamified, in my opinion, and we're always tweaking it for that front as well. That promotes and attracts you to put bets, to put your proposals up, to find out whether you're right. And the group, by getting better and better by every proposal, every iteration, you can see where you stand. You can learn a lot about yourself. You can, if you're a sane person, you can learn when to shut up and sit back and see who's right and keep following their lead. And you can also make some money by putting your proposals up. Like, you're literally putting your money where your mouth is, and that's one of the most exciting things for me.
So if I TLDR, and I'm not that deep into the material as you guys, it shifts governance into the hands of people who might not be the biggest holders of a certain token. Is that a good way to TLDR it, or?
It is. It's also a way. It's also a way that rebalances the governance power towards the people that are right. So even if you don't have like so much skin in the game, or you can't purchase your power or keep that power for a long time. If you keep being wrong, you're gonna be punished by the system, and you're gonna be weeded out very, very fast.
Nice. All right. Cool. So yeah, I'm entirely new to this, obviously. And you guys, apart from having like the on-chain platform, you guys also organize a lot of real life activities. So give me a brief overview of what you organized thus far, because apart from DAO, which is decentralized autonomous organization, you bring the DAO into a centralized non-autonomous organized events. So maybe you can tell a little bit about that, Chris, because I see you everywhere.
Sure. Before I jump on the IslandDAO, AthensDAO, and our long career into organizing Solana events, I want to add to the previous subject that what we've built here is taking coordination with friends and coordination with strangers at a very fun place, meaning that now you have an edge to band together and manage an organization or a treasury. While the reputation of DAOs in today's Solana world is like DAOs are inefficient. And now it's completely the opposite. It makes sense to band together. You will have the sum of your knowledge is going to yield a better result. And this is, again, something unique to what Realms has built. Regarding the events, yes, IslandDAO is here. Realms is one of the core parties that organize IslandDAO. Together with IslandDAO, we have a smaller but equally important event called AthensDAO, focuses more on education and DAOs in the space. It's cross Solana, so we've worked with Ethereum DAOs as well. Our career starts in 2020, one of the first Solana Hacker House X organized outside the control of Solana. This is the team here you see in this panel. And beyond that, what we try always to do is bring Solana technology to the real world, kind of walk the talk and live by what we preach. And IslandDAO is a testament of that. It's a month-long event that takes every experience on chain, and this is how we actually use Realms and use all these beautiful tools we make. There is no Luma; it's an on-chain event management application that creates all your interactions and codes them on chain, so it's immutable. If you signed up, if you missed it, if you paid, if it happened. And at the same time, we allow all our participants to vote about in-house operations from food choices to adventures, from ATVs to jet skis, and together with much more important decisions like which project to fund, which founder should get a grant, and who wins a track on the hackathon. So participants and attendees of in our events really get to try new Solana tech. And everything we code, it might look like a cool application with images and easy to use, but behind that, it's Realms. It's the biggest and most complicated program in Solana. This is a program that has started so many years ago, and it's still being upgraded, ironed out, and adding so many modules and compatibilities. So it's sky's the limit with what Realms has under its tech umbrella, and it's interesting, and it's really fun to see what other teams can make from this code base we have. And again, IslandDAO is a testament because it has everything kind of anchored on Realms.
Everyone gets to pitch in and propose ideas and have other people either go along with it or say it's a really bad idea, which is often my experience. Steve, don't do that. That's dangerous. All right. Yeah, for sure. I think Realms, it has so many integrations with other core DeFi platforms as well. You can stake your treasury. You can make changes to on-chain programs through proposals. And yeah, I think one of the problems with on-chain governance is that it has a really there has been a few poor governance issues in the past. One of my first that comes to mind is there was a DAO that had a large treasury. Someone bought just enough of the token in the bear market for a very cheap price, made some BS proposals. No one was really governing at the time, and the one of the proposals was to override the authority to the attacker's public key, and he withdrew the entire treasury. So yeah, there has been so many upgrades and so many lessons learned. Do you guys think that we are currently in a place where stuff like this does not happen anymore, or is there still some risk to governing on chain?
I think it continues to happen.
I agree, and I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's still an early technology, and we know how to do everything of the legacy way of doing things in governance, and that's very safe. But anything that's new, that's where there's going to be risk. And I think that people should be careful with how much money they put into anything like that. From a governance perspective, I only hold tokens that are token voting ecosystems. I don't do the Futarchy ones. And that's just because I think it's a technology that, we're still in the beginning. It shouldn't have, there's a lot of risk associated with that. So I think that we're going to continue to see governance attacks. I would tell you that we see them quite often and we just don't talk about them. There was one that happened. Chris can share if he wants. He's the one who caught it and stopped it. These aren't huge amounts of money, but yeah, Chris, what you want to share?
First of all, together with self-custody, because all this on-chain governance is another form of self-custody. You get the pros, you get the cons, you get the money velocity, you get the anonymous trust, you get all these things, but at the same time, you get all the cons. There's no helpline, there's no one to help you. You are responsible for your tokens, for your OPSEC, and for whatever happens to your keys. Yes, we got attacked yesterday. One of our funds was actually had a proposal which was disguised as a trade proposal, but in reality it contained an instruction to transfer the whole treasury to a single address. We're on top of it. We look at these kind of weird proposals, especially on DAOs that we participate. It happened, I am a member of that fund, and I caught it, and I used the tools created by Realms to stop it, because that particular treasury had a veto function. So if we collected enough governance power, we could stop any instruction. And what we did was actually we gathered enough tokens amongst us to actually veto the proposal, and it just stopped. If this was not caught, to rally the community to band together and veto it, maybe it would have passed. There is a set of settings, though, that is optimal for each DAO. And let's not forget the decentralization, and the whole space is not black and white. Doesn't mean that you have to be fully centralized under one authority and one person takes all the decisions, or you have absolute centralization between hundreds of thousands of holders and opinions. There is a spectrum. You can choose specific treasuries to be agile, to move small amounts of capital without many confirmations. And at the same time, you can have treasuries that have cool-off times, that require days or weeks to actually move any transaction. And again, you can distribute that power between veto, between core contributors, between active participants. So there is somewhere out there a set of settings of different settings in your setup that fit this decentralized narrative.
Amazing. So what I get from that is that you have to be an active participant in order to actually participate in this type of governance, basically.
Yes and no. Again, I'm blessing my beard here because Realms has a delegate function. So you can, let's say you're part of a DAO that you don't want to be daily looking at the DAO. You don't want to be following. It's not that important for you. Yes, you happen to have an investment. Yes, maybe there is once a year a proposal that you are interested. You can delegate your tokens, and you can delegate it to someone who is active. It's free, other than the token account, meaning that usually in real life, proxy voting in a stock, through your lawyer would cost like from $10,000 to $25,000, especially if you go to the US. And you can do this in Realms. I'm a delegate for many DAOs, many members that are active, but they trust me on the decision making, at least on the proposals they're not interested. And that's how we safeguard all these DAOs. And in the future, such a delegate could be a profession. Could be someone who is appointed. We see it in various tax haven incorporations, where you see a director being a director of multiple companies. You can do the same with DAO delegates. Again, it's the way and how much you want to involve your community. You can involve 10 delegates or 100 community members. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and you touched on incentives, which is very important. That most people, there's no incentive to be involved in governance, and that's a real problem. And I think that comes from that same coin we talked about earlier, the Sowellian belief that if you're going to make decisions, if you're making bad decisions, you'll pay. Well, for that to make sense, you should also be rewarded for making good decisions. And that's where you take care of incentivization. If I can be rewarded for championing a really good idea, I'll be more involved. And that's why we're like super excited about what we're working on. I also see this question in the chat, and then if you want, we can also like show you what it looks like.
Yeah, let's go. Take the wheel.
Okay. How about, should we go after the question?
I'll read the question. A part of it fell off, and then you can show us whatever you want and answer it, maybe through a screen share or take it from there. So I'll read the question. It's from Xerox. I'm planning to raise on Futarchy, MetaDAO, to be able to decentralize the contract, e.g. Upgrade authority. Let's see. I would like to have a setup that allows the decentralized autonomous organization to control the upgrade authority without my approval, but also have a way to upgrade the contract with a 4 out of 6, which is probably a multisig or so, to be able to install security upgrades without having to go through lengthy governance votes, Futarchy proposals. How can I make that happen? So, yeah. The question really is, I want to be completely decentralized, but also have a way to have some centralization and upgrade authority based on a multi-sig. And then so the addendum there is, would I have to put realms on top of the Futarchy or MetaDAO? That's the question.
Yeah, and I think that's the answer. If you really want so there's a few choices. Like for some more novice people in the space, there's a few choices. Our question, our chat participant audience have asked and shared. One was choosing Futarchy, so that's a launch pad. That's a choice, and there's a few launch pads that have more visibility than others. I would think Futarchy is maybe in like the top 10 in visibility, maybe top 20. Like, I wouldn't say it's the top visibility. So that's one choice. And then the second is, okay, what's that money that's going to come in to launch this token? Where's that money going to go? And if I'm correct, Futarchy has it managed in a squads, which is the authority of that squads is a program. And it decides when to change like payroll, salaries, money being sent, basically, when people vote using the Futarchy by making bets in the prediction market. So in this instance, he wants the upgrade authority of the program to also be controlled in a decentralized way. You can't do that with Futarchy, to my knowledge, which is, I guess, why he's asking. But you can do that with realms. So would we be able to take that token that was minted on Futarchy and have its program controlled on realms using that token? And the answer is yes. You can do that, and you can also have a multisig. So the idea would be, I would like to have a setup that allows the DAO to control the upgrade without my approval, but I can also do it if I need to do something fast. So you're going to have a council token. You want 4 of 6, so you're going to need to give yourself 1 and 5 other people the other ones. That token lets you just vote through and execute a change. You could also allow the community to veto when you guys do that. That's a choice. Like, there's a lot of choices, right? The amount of time for approval, that's a choice that you would have to make, but you can 100% do this. The important thing to point out is that you would have 2 different systems governing 2 different assets. You'd have Futarchy managing your treasury.
Why would you even do Futarchy? Like, Realms does streaming. You can have 2 treasuries. One is the raise. You can do your how do we call it in the Futarchy world? Your
Salary.
Yeah, but it's
The allowance.
the allowance. So you can have your allowance stream like that. You can simulate the whole Futarchy thing. I don't need to use it, especially if you're upgrading your program through Realms.
Like that. So as a separate like share of opinion, yeah, I am unlikely to participate in the launch by virtue of choosing a Futarchy to manage the treasury. But I think what you're trying to do is really awesome. And if you want like any help, feel free to reach out to us.
How do people reach out to you guys?
Twitter and Telegram. Twitter's great. They sometimes like bury those messages on that. Like you click on messages, then you have to go under requests, and sometimes
and you find a gem that's a week or months old.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit! If I had seen that, I would be like, hey man, what's up? But yeah.
All right. So your Telegram handle is Dean_machine, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And my Twitter is Dean Machine.
Without the underscore.
Without the underscore.
Ooh la la.
It's cleaner.
It's cleaner. Got rid of that.
All right.
But it doesn't get cleaner than Steve Cleanbrook. It doesn't get cleaner than that.
Well, only few people know why it's that. All right. The response, cool, thanks. The TLDR would be, I can have a token that runs a Futarchy and manages the treasury and could go parallel with a separate token to control upgrade authority. Gotcha. Thanks. Is that it?
So I just want to clarify. It wouldn't be a separate token. The community would still use that same token. You, for that 4 of 6 multisig, we refer to that as a token, which it's just legacy, the way we talk about things. It's a membership to the multisig. So it's only one token, and then you would have a membership. You don't need to have a second token. You don't need a separate token in parallel.
Awesome. Hope that helped. So yeah, let's switch gears. I am curious. I've probably never asked this question before. But where did you guys meet?
Ooh,
okay, that's a fun one.
Archaeology. We're all friends since knee high. I met Dean Machine at the Magic the Gathering tournament in 1999. We're older than we look. And we played on a pre-release, some super old Magic the Gathering set. And we happened to live like next to each other. So we returned back. And since then, we've been hanging out so much. We've worked together. We've gone on adventures. We've had fun. We've been sad. We've argued. We've gone through every emotion, and it's been an amazing journey. And with Taki, we met many years ago. Taki and Dean used to be at uni together when they were like youngsters, and
so that's like Dean, 40 years ago.
Exactly. 40, 50.
60 years ago.
60 years ago, back in the 50s.
And it happened that we all individually were Bitcoiners. We all developed a passion for technology, for being in the forefront. We all loved playing video games, strategy games, and we were always keyboard warriors and voicecom kind of community members. So it was a natural evolution towards this space.
The crazy part is that I went at the same uni with Dean. We hanged out back then. Then life happened, and many years after, we meet up again. And so, what are you up to? Oh, well, Bitcoin. Oh, really? Bitcoin as well. Then I meet also Chris, and there's blah 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 Bitcoin. Holy shit! So we've been at it. We've been doing the same thing all this long.
And this is pre-2017, eh?
Yeah. And then came Solana, and all the adventures. It's been a wild journey.
Did you guys skip the whole EVM then? In that case, did you guys got interested first in Bitcoin and then in Solana, or was there Ethereum in between?
No, DeFi Summer, ICOs, Uniswap, everything, the whole shebang. It's been wild.
A lot. Pre-EVM, the DAO got hacked. There's Ethereum, Dean Machine here worked at some point. You were with Ethereum Classic. I mean, we've done our fair share of EVMs, and I think that's why we saw a really fertile place in Solana, because Solana is made for non-financial transactions. Voting and generally writing on the Solana ledger is really fast and really cheap, especially compared to Bitcoin or even the EVMs. And the tools were missing from Solana. Governance was missing. Token gating was missing. All these coordination tools were missing. So sure, 7 years later, we got a lot of them. But I think our presence in the space has been instrumental, and then many of the tools you guys we've been talking about, they first came from inspiration from the EVM world, and Realms kind of brought them to the to Solana. Altogether, looking at the EVM space, the governance stack is very fragmented. While in Solana, you'll see Realms is king when it comes to, when you scratch the surface, you'll see how rich this program is.
And not only that, it's like the tooling on the EVM side is fragmented, but the ecosystem and the community and the participants are more well versed in why decentralization is important for crypto, why it's one of the core pillars. And given the explosion in the Solana ecosystem and all the winning that has happened, people seem to forget that. And we've seen it up close, and that's why we think it's important. That's why we started working all those things. And that's why we think that Solana is the future for governance, for coordinating together. I don't want to use words that are not very popular anymore. Like back in 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, if you said the word DAO, you would have been met with, "Oh my God, this is amazing." Now, if you use the word DAO and you don't use the word like Futardio, you're being viewed as an old fart. But it's important. It's important, and it's important for people to read a little bit, between the lines and dig a little deeper, not stay on the trenches level type of technology, and see why crypto and the whole industry is the future. But it needs decentralization to survive and to fulfill the mission, that has been has been born to fulfill, in my opinion, at least.
Well, there has been a huge discussion on the effectiveness and safety of decentralization and the meaning of decentralization, especially with the Kelp DAO hack and the Arbitrum freezing Ethereum that was obtained by a certain group that allegedly stole that money. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I saw a spicy tweet saying that North Korea is the only entity that's really using bringing the decentralized part into DeFi, which is a spicy take. But yeah, I'm sure you guys are having like internal discussions about these developments and also are have opinions on this. What are those opinions?
Should I start? I think it's a good reminder of why we're here, of why how crypto started, bank the unbanked, and all this vision we steered away from. At heart, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Bitcoiner. I'm a big proponent of Bitcoin. I like Solana for what it does when it comes to non-financial transactions. And I think that we need this kind of shakes and this kind of events to remind people about the ethos of crypto and how we've kind of steered away from our initial idea of decentralization, and now we have Circle controlling everything with their stablecoin, and we have parties proposing for rollbacks and freezing the chain. So this is weird, and yes, it's bad for the space, but it's also a wake-up call for all of us that were still active, and we still want to make this a better place, to work towards the true decentralization and kind of eliminate these fears. Whether that's from adding more stable coins, changing the formula, changing the way we look at risk within these contracts and these entities. I don't know what's the solution, but the only way for us to be educated is to get hit by events like the one you mentioned.
All right. Anyone else want to pitch in or share thoughts?
I mean, we can go on forever, but I'm sure we have like cooler stuff to discuss. Attacks will happen everywhere where there is value, and I don't know. These things happen, ever since the DAO hack and everything, they will keep happening. Drift, it was also something very unfortunate. Whenever there is value involved and people coordinating and new technologies, there's going to be attacks. It's on us to be more educated as users, as ecosystem, as individuals, and collectively, to be able to either spot those attacks and make everything we can to shout out to the people responsible to stop them, or be early participants enough and keep an eye out to protect what we think it's worth protecting. Whether I'm an early contributor in Metaplex, or I've believed in this since the very beginning and all that, or and so on and so forth. So it all comes down to, what do you care about and what do you want to keep alive? If you care about something, just grab some skin in the game, hold on to it, try to grow it, try to maintain it, and try to acquire skin in the game for vehicles and protocols that allow you to at least do something at a certain level with it. That's my opinion, and that's how I think the space will grow and how we become better together, because that's the big promise of crypto. It's not replicating TradFi and replicating whatever has been done in Web 2. Just do it again with an extra layer of friction, wallets, and everything.
And for the record, I agree with you guys, but I also want to have an interesting conversation, obviously.
Oh, for sure. There's also a question in the chat that I noticed. So yeah, let's keep an eye out there as well.
Let's go to some questions. Lollipop asks, what's the most extreme adventure, regardless of moral ambiguity, questionability in it? Let's throw this one at Chris.
I didn't understand the question. What is the biggest adventure?
The most extreme adventure, regardless of moral ambiguity or questionability in it.
I think it refers to the earlier part of the conversation about how we met and everything.
One of our adventures. The three of us. Oof.
Yeah.
No, we cannot be on air, obviously.
We're live. This is public.
Yes, we're live, and we have a reputation to protect. But come to IslandDAO, and I will replicate this moment for you.
Ooh la la.
It's wild. Trust me, it's wild. I don't know, maybe... Yeah, no. Come to IslandDAO, and I'll show you. I cannot disclose, though.
He's going to whip out his Black Lotus, and he's going to send you to the Shadow Realm. That's a Magic the Gathering reference. Let's see.
if you want, it's a Magic the Gathering reference.
There's a question from Senor Messi. He asks, I saw a few posts talking about using Sowellian mechanism. If it wasn't already asked, I joined late. Sorry, can I ask how it is being used on Realms DAO? Really intrigued about this. So yeah, we went over this at the start of the stream /podcast. But if you can look that back, or maybe Dean, if you can give a super TLDR.
Well, if you want, I can also share a screen and go through a few things there.
Let's do that. Yeah, let's just do that. I am gonna go to the screen sharing screen and import this. Let's see. This should work. Hopefully. There we go.
Okay.
Like a charm. What are we looking at?
So what we're looking at is a market of predictions that are all made for a DAO. DAOs have made all of these. And what's really weird to think about is that a DAO would have so many different proposals about trading assets that have been put up so quickly, and they're just constantly coming out. Usually you'll see a DAO take a very long time to coordinate to put anything into action. And what we've done here is we've taken our Sowellian mentality and we went to the extreme of how much independence can we give people while still sitting within this kind of value system of, if you make a bad decision, you're going to be penalized. If you make a good decision, you're going to get rewarded. So here, all of these are bets on if something will go up or down. And it was created when the DAO actually purchases the asset. Somebody proposes, I think that this coin, Bonk or Tesla or Sowell, will go up. When I propose that, I'm going to put some skin in the game, like $5. The DAO is then going to go and trade $500 and purchase the asset. In 24 hours, it'll sell the asset. If we made more than $500, I'm going to get 30% of the profit. So for $5, I'm making a bet that something's going to go up. And if it does, I get 30% of whatever that profit is from the $500. And that's all from the DAO treasury. So it's a way for me to contribute as a token holder towards trading, actively managing, actively trading our treasury. This is one of the two ways we've put Sowellian in. So I'll show you what a fund looks like. These are two different tokens that were launched on our launchpad. You can use any token launched from any launchpad, but I would tell you that if you don't have a token right now and you're thinking of launching one, doing it on our launchpad is the best way to take advantage of this system. But any kind of token launch can do that. All this money here was generated from trading fees and from trading the DAO actively. So here we can see what the DAO has. And now I'm a DAO member. Like, all of us have put our money together. It's like, okay, I think that it's going to be a really good time to buy Bonk. So I'm going to be giving $8.23. And the trade that DAO is going to do is $282. If I'm correct, this should be updated. This should say 30%. We updated it today. We're going to give 30% of the profit to me if I'm right. That Bonk is up in 24 hours. I'll stop here.
So if you lose, the whole DAO loses?
Yes, the DAO will keep my $8, and then if the price of Bonk goes down, we will lose whatever it went down in 24 hours out of that 282. So I would tell you that, like, most of these assets on a day by day have what, 3-5% volatility up and down. If it goes down 5%, that's, I'm trying to do the math fast, but it's like $15. Let's say it's less than $15. That bond, that $8 chips into it. So it's prop trading. That's that's a very good way of thinking about it. That you are given more capital based off of your idea. You're going to put some risk, And you can do this now with any DAO and any token. If we were a group of friends, which we are
a group
but
of friends.
actively managing funds together, maybe we have to have a call after this. How would we make trades together? Like, you know, Steve calls me up, Dean, DeFi tuna. I think it's a good buy here. Let's buy it. I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and do that. If all of our money was in the multisig, we would each have to sit there and sign it. We might miss that good moment before it's going to go up. But in this system, Steve can just go and be like, guys, I'm buying DeFi tuna for us. You're risking $5, or sorry, here $8, but you're helping our DAO buy $282 worth of tuna. And then we can see it and we can bet on it and then we can buy more. But it makes the conversation different. Instead of you putting up a complicated DAO proposal and then waiting 7 days for everybody to vote yes or no, the price, who knows what's going to happen. Here, you could do it all on your own. We've voted on the numbers, right? We voted, okay, we'll use 5% of our treasury. We voted, we want $8 bond. We voted, we'll give out 30% of the profit. Those are things we vote on together. And then after that, it's off to the races. Everybody can do stuff.
That's amazing. So it will only cost you very little money to lose other people a lot of money.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know if that's quite how I would put it.
Marketing disapproves this message. Marketing has the cut it.
The good thing is this: if you keep on losing money, you're going to stop having money to like. You're not going to have any more token. Like, and then after a while, it'll be like, okay, I'm going to stop making bets because I'm bad at this. I don't want my friends to lose money. Here, you have like evidence of it versus I have this feeling. And earlier I told you that we have two different ways of using Sowellian. I want to show you another one. So yeah, by the way, anybody can come to this. It's beta.realms.today. I just put up a bet earlier that Tesla is going to be up in 24 hours because of their earnings. You can see when we bought it. So it's a little up, but come here and bet against me. If you think I'm wrong, you bet $1, you get $8.34. So not a bad return if you think I'm wrong. That's beta.realms.today. Now, I want to show another way of using Sowellian. So here I have the original way we started thinking about it. And this is really where I think it gets interesting. But this is a little bit deeper into governance land, which is what are the decisions we can make together on how will it impact the project? When you're trading, you've got price. It's really easy to say, hey, was this good or bad? Price went up. Oh, yeah, it was good. Price went down. It was bad. Here, you have to be a little bit more nuanced. Is this the right strategy? Do we really think we should do this? And I'm bringing up this example because this is, bless you.
Thanks. Sorry.
It's objective in what you're trying to accomplish. So almost any new token launch, you're going to have a bunch of people coming into your Telegram saying, when you get listed on Dex Screener, when you get to pay for Dex Screener. And what we said is like, okay, let's put up a vote. What's the outcome of purchasing Dex Screener? And it's like, okay, market cap will go up. Great. So you bet that market cap will go up if we buy it. I'm going to bet, no, it's not going to go up if we buy it. And let's see what happens. And here where we had to put our money where our mouth is, it was rejected. And no one ever brought it up ever again. Whereas in Telegram, if you say, I'm not going to buy it, they'll just keep on every day. We have to buy it. Bro, we have to buy it. Here, the moment we had this proposal, everybody was like, here's evidence. No one thinks it's a good idea. Like, you silence like an idea if there's no actual support for it. It's a bullshit detector. And it would be really cool when you start to do this for IslandDAO, for Triton, for other protocols, where you're saying, okay, I think we should have a $10,000 sponsorship budget. Okay, that's great. I know you want to spend money. What's it going to accomplish? Oh, if we do this, we're going to get 5 new customers that are spending $50K a month. Okay, now here's an interesting thing. Do I think that that's going to happen? If we spend that 10K, we will get those customers. And if you're going and putting money up and saying, yeah, I do think spending that money is going to get those customers, who wants to bet against me? It now becomes like an HR tool. Like within a company, you can have arguments and say, look, I'll put up this much money for my conviction. This is the way we got to go. So this is much more interesting for me, but the activity is where people can make money. And that's why we made the other one, which is like the most rapid version of Sowellian.
Awesome. I really love that explanation, and I'm keen on learning more about how it works, and putting it to the test. Awesome. Let's see what the chat is saying. I see Adrian here from Realms. It's great you dropped in. Lollipop says the goal should be to establish mechanisms, specifically social one, to enable highly efficient and low friction actions within the Solana space, then leveraging the decentralized tools to handle the key critical areas like treasury management. We should only aim to use decentralized aspect when it's critical or key. All right. Any thoughts on that one, or?
I think that it can be a little bit better than that. It doesn't need to be key. It's when we can remove trust, we should. There's no reason. It's like, you can have a really good friend and you get into business. Hey, I prepared our contracts. Oh, what? You don't trust me? I do trust you. But there's this technology we made called contracts that removes the need for us to have trust. We agree that this is what it should be. Let's now put it into paper. And then the evolution of that is smart contracts, programs. We agree that this is, if we can remove trust, we should. That it's not like, only key, like, I think the most important place to remove trust is the key critical components. But in every part of life, if we can remove that requirement, which allows the corruption and all of these other bad things, if we can remove the trust, everything's like we should, it just makes life easier.
Yeah, I agree. Lollipop says if we can remove trust when there isn't a loss in effectiveness.
Absolutely. And like that might be part of the trilemma. I guess it is. It probably is part of the trilemma.
It should be part of the trilemma.
It should be.
And don't you, like, by taking something on chain, you don't really remove the social part always, at least the way the space is at the moment. I can choose to ignore a proposal if you don't socialize it correctly, if I don't know about it, if you haven't campaigned. There is a social aspect that's tied to every interaction, whether it's on chain, whether it's trustless, or has trust baked into it. I think it's unavoidable completely to remove the social aspect completely.
How do I keep myself up to date? Let's say I'm part of a DAO. Let's say I'm invested in IslandDAO, for instance, or I'm part of another DAO. How do I know, is there like a communication mechanism where I can keep myself up to date? Do I get an email whenever there's a proposal? How does that work?
Yeah, these tools exist, but they gotta be better. So we have a little, bell in the corner. If you click it, you can put your email address and you'll get an email whenever there's a proposal. And that's a good question. I think as long as you're part of a DAO, you should try to stay in the loop. But I go back to that first comment around incentives. There has to be something in it for you. You have to feel like your voice is heard, that there's an outcome from you speaking. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, forget this. It's going to fall off. With IslandDAO, I think there's just so many cool things we can vote on and do together. Like, I love that we learned how to get rid of ordering crappy delivery food and having somebody there cooking for us. Like, that was such a great discovery that we made together. And then we all voted, okay, let's keep the budget for that. You know, I think we need more of these IRL moments to use all of these things to really like see how it clicks and you know, make something nice out of it.
If only there was an event coming up that we can try those things together again.
Ooh la
Coming up
la.
in June in a lovely place called Koh Samui in Thailand.
All right, let's go to talk about IslandDAO. So Dean and I have a little history there. Do you want to tell it, or shall I? You know,
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the year was 2022, probably, or early 2023, and I was at home, bored out of my mind, and I was thinking about what I wanted my life to look like, and I suddenly had an idea. I thought water DAO, because mountain DAO was becoming a thing, but yeah, me being a happy pirate, I love kite surfing, I love sailing, I love swimming. So anything water related, basically. And I thought, who would be a good idea to share this idea with? So I contacted Dean because I know he's from Greece. And I said, I have this idea. And he's like, all right, tell me the idea. And I was like, it's a 2-week long hacker house on or at the water. Like, let's rent 2 big catamarans. Let's fuck off to sea. Let's get Starlink. And he's like, oh, and where is this going to be? And I said, oh, Greece, obviously. And he said, po.
That's so real.
And then, yeah, I think it was probably a year later that, you know, the idea became to fruition, and the first IslandDAO was born, which was a month-long hacker house in a villa on Crete. A lot of people showed up. A lot of lessons were learned. There was a lot of builders. There was a lot of workshops. There was no hackathon at that time, I think. But yeah, we learned a lot. There was little on-chain governance for that one. And then the second one was in the Solana villa in Thailand, which was amazing. Even bigger and better right after Breakpoint in Singapore. So that was super duper convenient. And then let's see, the third, yeah, it was the third one. We had just now, it felt like, also in Greece. And now the fourth one is upcoming. So Taki, you pitched it, take it away. Shill us IslandDAO V4.
IslandDAO V4, it's coming home. We're going back to the Solana villa in Koh Samui. 4 weeks of building, connecting, chilling together. IslandDAO has been like an amazing experience, not only for us, you know, organizing it and welcoming all the wonderful builders from all around the world, but it's also a flywheel that you can see the results by now. Like only 3 events in the past couple of years, we've had more than 15, hackathon winners, raised like millions of dollars. Those teams, other teams, you know, have participated in the Solana incubator. And as Chris said earlier, we love to bring, you know, the tools to practice. We love to bridge the real life experience with the Solana technology. And this time, we always like to kick it up a notch. So expect more prediction markets, expect more Sowellian bets, expect more cool stuff. And one of the things I look forward the most is Steve kite surfing and us looking over from the hill and trying to spot his kite. This time, we're going to bet on you going kite surfing with our ledgers on and see what happens. So yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm very happy. June 3rd to June 28th, Koh Samui. Tickets are available right now. Early bird price will last until the 1st of May. So grab them while they're hot. If you hold the IslandDAO NFT, if you hold all 12 animals, you get a VIP pass, and you can have access to the whole 4 weeks for free. So we're gonna love to welcome you guys back to the lovely island of Koh Samui.
Awesome. Yeah. And it's also a great place if you're in between jobs, if you're a digital nomad. A lot of people got hired and acquired at IslandDAO. So, yeah. Or, a lot of remote working teams can come there and work in person, which gives a completely different dynamic to what you're used to. And there is room for that team building, having lovely dinners on the roof of Samui. So there's no you have to, right? Everything is free. If you want to come to the villa, then you can come. There's no obligations. Lollipop says, I doubt I would get hired. Well, that depends for what role.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
If maybe there's a job for everyone, Mr. Lollipop. All right. So, what parts of this event are going to be on chain?
That's for Chris.
Registrations, check-ins, checkouts, all the event management, all the media. We have IslandGram. So if you snap a picture during the event from the house, you can upload it to the decentralized storage we're using, so everybody can share this. That's the great way for us to get so much more media than we could with our phones or any other crew we would hire. Now everybody is the crew. We have decentralized governance, so anybody in the house that has checked in, that is in the house, so no third parties, randos, kind of fiddle with our decision making. You have a great way to actually observe who is in the house, and you can even see what is their preferred drink. So if someone wants to come to the hacker house and bring, I don't know, beverages for everyone, there is a way for you to do this through our app. And what we're also offering is if there is a sponsor out there, if there is someone who's building something with the context of on-chain events, governance, or anything that close to what I mentioned, like decentralized storage, they should reach out, and we've built this in a modular way, so others can plug in their tech and plug in the tech that is actually being built during the hackathon and in the hacker house. Other than that, sky's the limit. Like I don't want to reveal some experimental features we're working on, like the signing on your NFT, so you can in person go to an NFT holder and get their autograph, and then the metadata of that NFT is updated to showcase that you've come in contact with XYZ address, and you can implement that in an event level, in a founder level, in a team level, so you can go around and get the complete Triton team autographs. Imagine it like a football ball where everybody goes and signs. So so many things. Even our fitness program and yoga program that we're baking into the scheduling this year is going to work through on-chain events, and it's going to distribute on-chain prizes. Even there is going to be a cool treasure hunt that we're working with LootGo, which is going to take you all around the Koh Samui island, the island of Samui, and it's going to give you not only prizes related to the event and the space, but also is going to allow you to go around the most important and picturesque spots of the island. So lots of cool things, lots of cool tech that we've seen on Twitter. We've met people in Breakpoint, and they've talked about it in that speed dating 5 minutes you have with trying to reach the exit, where someone tells you, "Hey, have you seen this cool thing?" Come to IslandDAO to experience it. That's what IslandDAO is about. Bring your tech. We are shipping so much tech, like tablets and NFC readers and so much, like mini projectors. Is just insane. Join the fund. Really, you should FOMO. Like Steve, you've been there. You've been there. You haven't missed a day. Like you can attest to that. It's
I can attest to that, and it's
where
I think
we take
fun.
the deepest connections.
Fun is the central word for me, and I go there to work. Right, I go there to work. I work every day, 8 hours. I work out. I go swimming every day. But there's more than enough time in the day to bond, meet people, listen to their story, work together, help each other. And yeah, it's a lot faster to walk to the next table than to wait for a message back through Telegram that may never come. So yeah, let's wrap it up with that. Thank you so much for coming on Pirates Parley and talking about on-chain governance and shedding your light on what you guys think is the way to move forward, why it matters, why it's more valuable than other governance models that are off-chain. Yeah, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Absolutely, brother. And really, like, thank you for inviting us. Like the class of guests you've had are phenomenal. And really, this podcast is doing a lot of good. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, I hope that a lot of people who are building on Solana and thinking about, decentralizing their platform are going to consider Realms and are definitely going to have a second look at what potential it has for them, but also maybe how they can integrate with Realms. For instance, if you're building, a DeFi platform, maybe people who govern their treasury through Realms can use your platform for governance, stuff like that. So yeah, make sure to get in touch with the team and let's leave it at that. And make sure you get your Tushy to IslandDAO.
IslandDAO needs pushies.
Yes, but it is not allowed to be naked in the villa.
He's asked multiple times.
During the day. Wait.
During the day. All right, you know what I'm saying? All right.
Don't ruin it. We've built on this.
All right. I hope that everyone who listened learned a thing or two. Thanks so much, Realms team, for coming on. And I hope to see you guys IRL soon. I'm going to bring my Elder Dragon Highlander deck to
the Shadow Realm.
To the Shadow Realm. It's a second Magic the Gathering joke. All right. Enough of this. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for being on. Thanks everyone for listening in. I hope to see you next week. Before we log off, next week I have on squads. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
What is a good question I should ask them according to you guys?
How important are stable coins for the future of crypto?
All right. Stable coins. All right, noted. I will make sure to ask him that on your behalf. Make sure to listen in and talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone.